Club Shay Shay, yeah. I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that. And when I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story.
When Diddy's arrest hit the headlines last September, Katt Williams saw an opportunity. He went to Instagram stories, reshared an AI mashup of Puffy's mugshot on Wesley Snipes in New Jack City, and captioned it "Diddy about to snitch on everybody." That joke exploded online. Fans everywhere were saying the same thing. If anyone's going to flip to save himself, it's going to be Diddy. But Katt didn't stop at a one-off punchline. Remember Katt's old podcast where he casually dropped names like Tyler Perry, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, and Ludacris. At the time, it sounded like petty personal attacks, but some of those exact names, Jay-Z, Aaron Hall, Harv Pierre, and more, appear in the actual court documents against Diddy. Katt wasn't just joking around, he was planting clues. And now we're about to connect the dots between stand-up comedy and a federal scandal. Katt started with Tyler Perry.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
On the surface, it looks like a comedian throwing shade when Katt jokes that Perry can't play a man to save his life. But behind the laugh is a fact few people know. When Perry was working on his first indie scripts, Diddy's team stepped in. They helped fund his debut movies, arranged premieres in LA and New York, and handed out VIP invites to stars hungry for a preview. Those early boosts aren't in tabloids, but they show up in the fine print. Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Medea's Family Reunion. Perry might not admit it, but his launchpad ran through Bad Boy's playbook. Who else? Ricky Smiley, who learned the ins and outs of the industry at Diddy's private Atlanta parties. Those weren't open parties, they were invite-only nights.
You think that like stars and get offered that kind of thing, like to compromise themselves sexually for entertainment?
I was as shocked as anybody about how powerful Harvey Weinstein was at the time that I was meeting with him, and how he could not be told no. You follow what I'm saying?
They'll figure out some way.
Puffy's crew controlled the guest list and handed out the guest passes. Ricky got on that list. From there, he networked and talked his way into radio gigs and a hit TV show. Katt said that Smiley only shines in a dress, but the joke cuts deeper. It hints at how Ricky's rise to stardom happened through Big Boy headquarters long before he ever picked up a mic. Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer aren't immune either. Katt accuses Harvey of stealing an old TV idea of his and claims Cedric lifted one of his best jokes 2 decades ago. Those barbs make for great headlines. But the real point is that both men have shaken Puffy's hand at charity galas funded by Bad Boy.
I heard that you bought a military base in Alabama. Is that true? A military base?
As starving comedians would do.
Now, I don't know if you're being truthful or not. Did you really buy one?
Yeah, Fort McClellan. Yeah,
What?
Because the reason why like my life works in golf and off the golf course is because I follow instruction well, right? Mm-hmm. So if I see somebody do a good job, I just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow the example.
Yeah.
Right? So Tyler Perry got a military base.
That's correct.
Made it into a movie studio and started making movies. Katt Williams.
Bought a military base. Are you making movies?
I'm not wearing dresses. Making movies.
They've hosted events designed to raise millions for education and youth outreach. Each time they thank Diddy on stage, they solidify their partnership with him. Those smiles and fancy charity galas give us an inside look at a network of influence few viewers ever see. It even reaches into church walls. TD Jakes preached at a gospel concert sponsored by Diddy's team. Those crowds saw platinum seats with VIP ropes and press walls that looked like album launches. Behind the hymns and sermons sat music execs and influencers picked by Bad Boy's PR squad. Katt mentions Jakes in passing as one of the big deviant names set to get called out. That line might sound weird, but it explains exactly how Diddy's promotions fuse pop culture and faith all under one dark, twisted umbrella as the so-called industry plan. Katt says Hart's movies, such as Ride Along to Night School, only move forward after passing through Diddy's circle. Look at the credits. You'll find Puffy's venture arm in the mix, sometimes on soundtracks, sometimes in executive producer slots.
Tyler Perry told his male actors they're not allowed to consort with me because I saw you at a Diddy party, Tyler. And you were having a glorious time. I spent a lot of time in Miami, and I snuck around Star Island quite a bit.
Hart's stand-up specials landed on platforms where Bad Boy had distribution deals. Those patterns aren't coincidences. They clearly show Hart's path to the top ran alongside Combs' empire. In exchange for what? Only Katt knows. According to Katt, only an organization as powerful as that could land him a $200 million contract. That story feels half myth, half comedy, but the real partnerships speak for themselves. Hits on each other's albums, joint festival sets, and tribute shows for Biggie, where they shared the stage. Those moves hint at a trust built over decades. Katt wraps it in conspiracy talk, but you don't need secret symbols to see their alliance.
You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was.
Sir, no one, why no? He was with KD? He beat up Terry Crews? Why nobody know this story? And Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did, it's in my contract. That's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did, it's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
But when you reported a long time ago that Jamie, that he mysteriously got sick,
Mysterious, and we said that allegedly was Diddy. But how do you
but when you reported that back then months ago, did you say what was that in your reporting?
Yeah, they were saying that Diddy, because Diddy and Jamie Foxx were good friends. And they broke up, they stopped being friends. And they just, no, Gary, not good, no. I'm gonna tell you what they said.
Who's they?
They that wait.
They that wait on the Lord.
You put the mess out there.
All right, y'all, we're gonna wrap up the house.
But how is any of this linked to Diddy and his ongoing legal battle? To understand that, we need to go back 1 year. In March 2024, federal agents raided Sean Diddy Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami, seizing electronics and documents in a sex trafficking investigation. By September, a grand jury indicted him on racketeering, sex trafficking, and prostitution transport charges. Then, in December, court filings stunned even the toughest reporters. Those papers named Sean Carter, Jay-Z, accusing him and Combs of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl after the 2000 MTV VMAs. Combs' own son, Justin Combs, is accused of organizing freak-off parties with underage girls.
Def Comedy Jam 25. It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna show up?
Shit, I'm nervous as hell right now.
Oh, he's right there.
There he is.
I didn't know he was right there. Nigga, I would not have said that if I had seen him. I'm not used to quiet, introspective Katt Williams.
No.
Well, let me ask you this. When have you ever seen this many heavy hitters all together at the same time? In the same room. Yeah.
Right.
All right, Jen is with me now to talk about another story making headlines today.
Yeah, so this one is actually sparked by these pictures. That's 49-year-old P. Diddy with his hand on his girlfriend's belly. Now that is 22-year-old Lori Harvey. They're in Cabo. She's, of course, talk show host Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. People are talking about maybe she could be pregnant. You know, he's rubbing her belly a little bit, but...
She's put up some Instagrams, I think, that show some clues. Sushi, right? Sushi, a bad thing for pregnancy.
It could go either way. But then also she posted this picture of green juice, which, you know, why would you want a flatter tummy if you really can't avoid it because you're carrying a child?
Ooh, this is conflicting evidence. Okay. Lori was once actually linked to Diddy's son, Justin.
Okay.
Okay, so they were together and then engaged a couple years ago to a Dutch soccer player. She told Carissa Thompson about how he popped the question.
We were in Malibu. I remember the
Were you
time. It was
freaking out?
11:30. I thought it was a joke, and then he went in his pocket, and I started shaking.
They split up later on that year. Lori and Sean were actually spotted with her dad, Steve, on a boat in Italy earlier on this summer.
That's all. Well, then that's it. He's given the blessing. They're together.
So serious federal agents handcuffed him at the raid, though he faced no charges. Former Bad Boy singer, Kalina Harper, shows up as a witness to violence against Combs' ex, Cassie Ventura. Even industry heavyweights like Interscope co-founder Jimmy Iovine and Universal Music boss Lucian Grange were briefly named for witnessing or influencing testimony, though Grange has since been dropped. When Katt Williams sat down to name and shame every celebrity tied to Diddy, it was an eerily similar court-documented roster he unpacked. Coincidence? Not when it comes to Puff Daddy, backed by court documents, federal indictments, and sworn statements.
That list.
On that list.
And, you know, Katt Williams, I don't know if he's a Christian or not. I don't think he is. His mouth would say maybe he's maybe has faith, but he's bearing fruits of repentance. But that podcast got, well over millions and millions of views because he just blasted the industry. And basically the whole thing is your career's here. If we give you money and you join in on this debauchery, you join in on this sodomy, you join in on this pedophilia, you join in on these rituals, your career will go from here to here. And that's actually been seen if you look at a lot of different careers, including Taylor Swift's. She actually started rubbing shoulders with P. Diddy a long time ago, and then all of a sudden her career changed.
Now, we also know that TD Jakes is allegedly also a power bottom. And he's a much older man. And they say he's very enthusiastic in his endeavors. What happens when he pops something loose? You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because they're mentioning sex workers, but they're not mentioning women. They're mentioning men as sex workers.
Yeah.
Like is that a thing where like there's a website? I mean, what? It's just wild to hear like you mentioned the
You
normal.
never heard of Grindr?
I personally have not. That is what.
Why don't nobody ever talk about the fact that TD Cakes has an account allegedly on Grindr?
Kevin Hart gets a turn too.
As these cases head toward trial in May 2025, each name on this list underscores how far and how deep Sean Diddy Combs' empire reaches. Whether these celebrities knew what they were signing on for or simply found themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time, one thing is clear. When Katt Williams says he's revealing every celebrity in Diddy's circle, he's working from the same legal filings that paint this wide-ranging, star-studded picture of alleged misconduct. If you're as stunned by these names as we are, go ahead and like this video. Drop your questions in the comments. Who surprised you the most? Who do you think will fight back? We want to hear it. Then hit subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this story. Thanks for watching.
Are you related to Luda?
No, so we were both invited to an Illuminati thing. One of us had to cut off all their hair, and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. I didn't get it. I'm not mad about it.
How much money they give? 200?
Sir, Fast and Furious is on what number right
10.
now?
Did you start to worry any about your own safety and stuff?
Well, what it was that I was attempting to do was impossible. So before I do this interview, there is no Illuminati. It's just a joke. It's just something that crazy people talk about. There's no such thing as our side and God's side. None of that is even real. I gotta come and make it real. So that's why when I said that, nobody came out and went, that's not true, I'm on God's side. If part of the ritual is wearing a dress, then we should be able to look through entertainment and see all of these people being made to wear a dress.
Yeah, you don't see the dog catcher show up every other year.
Like, it's not a thing.
In a nice skirt, or you don't see an electrician